it's it's a game that can be a lot of fun if you play it with the right mindset. It can be relaxing, but it can also be engaging, and especially if you try to drive fast to deliver your stuff always on time and maybe do the parkings yourself, because of course the most challenging part of this game is parking the damn truck. Some people take ages to do it, sometimes even I do. Let's hope it doesn't happen today. Will also be a chance to play with the wheel again. I want to make a habit of it. In the morning we play playing games, in the afternoon driving ones. If you end up being bored, or maybe I can tell it from the atmosphere or just the number of spectators going down and down, I probably switch to something more engaging. But you can also tell me what you think about it. It's a bit of an experiment. Everything is real at this stage. I haven't been streaming for long. Here's another game that crosses your eyes while you're loading it. Hey, what's this? Okay. I believe we must be around Seattle. Okay. And why does it do like this? No, everything's alright. Sono stati arrivati i cambiamenti, ok, because it's been updated. I don't think there's anything set up. Should just work, as they say at Nvidia conferences. It just works. It's kinda magical. Here it is. I guess we are in LA. If I'm not mistaken, I had my how's it called? My yard, my company was set in Los Angeles, which was of course within the original scenario of this game. Unfortunately, we won't be able to use the radio. I don't know how some people managed to do it, but actually, as soon as I engage the radio in this game, Facebook silences my stream. Whatever kind of music you end up listening, even if you go and listen completely royalty-free music, it still seems to demonetize or even silence you. Hold the button. Let's see. Where did I put the button to? Yeah, like this. I'm getting some fuel. Look at it, so small. And let's see what jobs we have around. I've been playing for a while, so this isn't a starting track. It's pretty good actually. I remember when I bought it, it was a great improvement. What track was it? It's the Kenworth VU 900. I looked on Google and they said it was the best track in American Truck Simulator, at least one of the better one. I'll pick some work that isn't online, so we can go at whatever speed we want, because of course I want to drive fast, and start with something that isn't too long, so we see how it goes, and maybe if it doesn't go well, we change game. Let's go to Holbrook, Arizona. I'd rather go north actually. I think it's more nice as a scenery. Towards Nevada. Well, why not? Let's see the first page. This one, I like this one. To Oakdale, California, northern part of California. Okay. We're going to carry, what is it? Maybe I'll read it from the track itself.
Buon viaggio.
Ah yeah, the GPS is in Italian. I guess it won't bother you guys too much. We can easily switch to English if so. Now starting to do some tricky maneuvers, but this is nothing. Things really get interesting once you have the rear part, the how's it called? Il rimorchio, come si dice? Non remember the English word. My lord, in any case. Now I can't see well the road. But we're fearful like that. We aren't fearful, I mean. We're fearless.
Prepararsi a voltare a destra.
Yeah, a prepararsi.
Voltare a destra.
You hear the Italian girl. Okay. And this is the big road. Let's wait for the green light. As I was saying, this is a fairly cool track. It's not a run-of-the-mill one. I picked black color. Okay, already it is green. It's an engaging game to play in VR. You actually have to look around much more than what you do in a racing game.
Andare dritto.
And it's very immersive. After a while you feel like you're experiencing the drive yourself. Also, it's got pretty nice graphics, especially for the more recent sceneries, of which this isn't an example, but if we end up in Washington State, it's fairly good. Also, I especially enjoy the northern part of Europe, but that's in the other game, Euro Truck Simulator. Maybe if I turn on my lights, it would be better. No, these are the Stoplights. Where did they have the normal lights?
Andare
Ah,
dritto.
here they are. Well, much better. We are inside a city, but in any case, we better light up. Yes, the police. Always nothing to see here, agent. Just waiting for the green. Not yet. At first I was driving mostly with automatic transmission, but actually manual can be interesting, especially with these American trucks that have so many gears. This one has, if I'm not mistaken, 18. And you actually end up switching 2 gears at a time. I heard it, that's fairly normal. They skip gears with these trucks. Of course you're supposed to have a stick that they don't have, and the clutch pedal that they also don't have. But I've written, you can take a guess about it. I also wrote an article about that. The gears on this kind of trucks, it's really an entire science in
Andare
itself. There was this guy showing how it worked. And believe it or not, the lever itself actually has a switch that turns you from the bottom to the top half of each gear. That's the reason it has 18. There are actually 9 gears split in half. But they mostly use them starting from the fourth, like I'm doing now. You never start from the first gear, unless you're carrying extremely heavy loads, and we are not. I'm also using the stronger,
Tenersi a
the higher
destra
lights,
e
how
poi
they say,
voltare
le luci
a
alte,
destra.
that's better not done, especially when you are policing
Voltare a
from...
destra.
I know, turn right, well, it's red at the moment. Here we see fine shots of LA. It's a bit smaller than I remember it, or that I would remember it to be if had been there. Which I have, in a sense, while piloting flying games. Nothing to see, agent. I wonder how many of you are from the US.
Andare
I've never
dritto.
been there personally. Such a vast and interesting country. And here we go again, finally. What time is it of the day, or rather of the night? 11:22.
Tenersi a destra e poi voltare a destra.
As you can see already we're accelerating pretty well, 100 km/h, so I should probably set it to miles since we're in the
Voltare a
US.
destra.
But I tend to understand it better like this. Thank you, Denzel, for liking my post. And maybe I better break now since this daylight transport guy is coming here. I've actually installed mods, a lot of mods for this game. So probably this company could be a real one, I don't know about it. But many others are. You can, for instance, deliver stuff to IKEA when you're driving in Europe. That's not going to happen here. Because American Truck Simulator doesn't have IKEA, but I believe they do have the IKEA in the US. After all, it's a worldwide business.
Prepararsi a voltare a destra.
I think I know this place. This is the kind of company that has a tiny parking space. But of course we're now just taking out the stuff, not delivering it. So it will be less of a
Voltare
problem.
a destra.
Yeah, you see it's a real company now, but just because it's modded. Actually looks like an energy company and
Eccoci
a
arrivati.
power plant
Sani e salvi.
of sorts. Which makes sense, since we're in LA, probably we're going to deliver fuel, or rather should I say oil. Yeah, here it is. That's the job I wanted to do. The one to Oakdale. Pays $18,000. That's not bad at all. Accept the job. I know this place very well. No, it's big. It's not the smaller company I was thinking about. Let's make the turn this way. I know all of you are waiting for the moment when I will have to park, and that's the hard part of this game. But it's not yet time. I just pick it up for now. Try not to use the external view for as long as I can, but when parking I guess I'll have to. It's almost... No, it's not impossible if you know your stuff, but I'm not very good, so I probably have to use external view when parking. But we never know.
Mettiamoci al lavoro.
And now we have our load. What was it, by the way? It's diesel. It's 18 tons of diesel. 18 tons, $18,000. $1,000 per ton. Seems like a pretty reasonable payout. Now checking the rear, I better not hit anything. I wouldn't look good on my employer. And now we are finally off. Back to the road. There's actually a lot to see in this game, so it's a shame that it's now night. If I find a stopping area, I'll probably rest, so we can play during the day. They're usually outside cities though. Ah no, I see one right ahead. Yeah, it's 11:49 p.m. Even with the increased time factor of this game, we will probably playing completely at night, but like this. So I'll go and sleep now. It's right behind the fuel station. Okay, I'm not using my turn signal, I'm completely alone. It's after all almost midnight. And what you do to make time pass in this game, you're actually supposed to do it once in a while, because otherwise the driver will tire out, and you know you better not drive such trucks when you're tired. So let's do it. Now he rests, and we start again at 10 in the morning. Much better, much better. We can see the scenery like this. Now we will have to do the hard job of backing up. Let me check one thing. Ah yes, this is actually the rear piece that is longer. I can't remember how you say rimorchio in English. That is going to make the scene difficult. I guess I'll better Google it. And of course, I touched something very softly. Don't worry guys, I'll disentangle myself somehow. Well, good thing we can go this way and presumably not get us completely stuck between a rock and a hard place, which is right now happening. No, wait. These are already codes for the external view, and so my dream of looking good when inside the truck is already gone bad. But that's not the end of the world, because we just back it up like this. Yeah. Chevron. And very coolly, while pretending that nothing happened, move sneakily away from the guy whose car we probably half destroyed. Good thing he wasn't in the car. Now I'm going the opposite way. All's fair in war and video games, as they say. Let's hope the police doesn't show up. And all is good, what ends well. Let's hope this guy is not so stupid as... Yeah, okay, let me pass. It's rather eventful as a game. Everything seems extremely easy until you mess up. If you mess up even a little,
Prepararsi a
then you're in
voltare a
big
sinistra.
trouble. And you have to have a certain flexibility of mind
Voltare
to
a
pull
sinistra.
yourself out of the mud. Let's call it mud. Look at all the real advertisement. Good. How nice of me to download all the mods so I can be advertised that even while playing truck simulations. I can't see the traffic lights from here. No, I can, more or less. So I guess it's almost my turn. Here it is. You are stopping, right? Why isn't he stopping? Ah, okay, I guess. Makes sense. It was green for him also. A little danger for the road. And here we are. It's going to be a 500 kilometers track. Might seem much, but also distances are kinda compressed in this game. So maybe it's not long as you would think. Besides, it's now day, so we'll be able to check the scenery and such. Look at the acceleration on this track. It's incredibly powerful compared to what I had before. I had the fairly run-of-the-mill Peterbilt, not the good one, the base track. Hi Kevin, thank you for liking my stream. Leave me a comment if you feel like it. Yes, the green
Andare
car,
dritto.
also called the chroma key car, from a Siemens point of view at least. Why don't I start again? What is going on? What is going on? Huh. That's strange. And now, of course, the traffic's gone red. There's a lot of trucks on the road in this game. I guess it makes sense. It's the trucking game. It was really disheartening when I learned that the VR version of the game actually cannot play multiplayer. There is an unofficial mod that is the most played online by people who stream, where you can actually drive in convoys made by other people. And so I downloaded
Prepararsi
eagerly
a
that mod,
voltare
I
a destra.
installed it, and then what it told me was that the VR
Voltare a
version
destra.
of the game is not supported. They actually have said more than once on the official site of the mod that they don't see enough interest with the VR version of Truck Simulator to make their mod compatible, and that's terrible. That's really terrible in my opinion. In this day of and age, where we're standing now with VR that is almost coming into the public side, it's a real shame to miss such essential features. I guess it will come with time. Let's hope for the best. Are you seeing all the news coming lately? Not just Half-Life. There's also another huge game that is coming out in just a few days. That's called Boneworks. And completely physics-based, almost like Half-Life in its own manner. Looks very interesting. They've been showing bits and pieces of that game. And what I especially like is the way in which you interact with everything. You can touch items, move them about. You can use all sorts of weapons. In that regard, it's like Blade and Sorcery. The one that I've played a couple of times. The medieval themed arena brawler, but that's more of a tech demo. It doesn't have a game progression. Whereas Boneworks, besides being in a modern setting, so you have also firearms and the like, also seems to have an interesting story. We did something about another dimension. Again, every reference to Half-Life is purely coincidental. But I think that's going to be a huge game, possibly even more interesting than Half-Life. Well, Half-Life comes out in some months after all. I don't know about the mod support. Alex will have it. Alex, Half-Life will be moddable. I don't know about Boneworks. In any case, that's something to look for. I will surely stream that game as soon as it comes out. I just like VR too much as a whole, not to. So maybe now that I've established the theme of my page, that is VR simulators, you will see it change throughout time. For instance, I wouldn't actually dislike going back to some games enhanced with Vortex. There are several I'd like to show you. I know some people are a bit not very enthusiastic about this on principle, them not being games made for VR specifically, but I can assure you can obtain incredible results with that application.
Andare dritto.
I was thinking the other day also showing Ace Combat. Ace Combat 5 is great in VR. Actually, I believe it was originally thought as a game to be played in VR, then probably they lost it throughout development. But if you go and play that game with Vortex, you discover something that is nothing short of incredible, because you have the same settings as realistic flight simulation games, but it's much more fun because it's a simple arcade game. You pilot your plane like a pro from the very 5 minutes, and you do these incredible missions that seem to come out of a Japanese anime. It's incredibly fun. That's something I'm going to show later in the week also. Unless that is we end up being so involved with the truck game that we're going to keep playing. Now he's saying
Tenersi a sinistra.
it's actually suggesting me to take a detour because the road is closed. Well, I don't know about it, because this game always gives you, no, not in this case. Sometimes you can still pass through, but not with this huge load behind me. No, it's going to be too
Sto
difficult.
ricalcolando
I'll
il
take the
percorso.
detour. I'll take the detour while looking for a possible alternative. something maybe a bit less legal, like cutting, doing U inversions, something crazy like this. Because it's more fun that way, of course, but I don't see any opportunity coming up. This is also a game that enjoys pretty good performance in VR, especially if you consider that it was originally made
Tenersi a destra
for
e
the
poi
Oculus,
uscire a destra.
so much in fact that you select the Oculus version even to play Steam VR, and then they no longer update it. Yet,
Uscire a destra.
it seems to work pretty well. Here comes the inversion. Ah, that's something I haven't done. I
Voltare
believe
a sinistra.
my second VR view could work better for this game. I had another in OBS, the scene where the view is more zoomed, that I actually used for the rally game, should let you guys see more of the road. It's named Rally FB, yeah, this one. Let's see if it makes a difference. Well, I won't be able to see it, so you tell me if it's worse, and I'll go back. If you tell me nothing, I'll assume it's the same or even better, but I suspect it could be better. Now, it would have been if the game hadn't crashed, and I guess that's also part of life. No, it hasn't. Never mind. Never mind that. Good. Where's my cursor? Perfect. Ah, yes. What a relief. I'm so used to games crashing all the time because of War Thunder that actually I started... Ah, no, you know what crashed? The application for seeing the chat did. So I'll have to start it again. I hope it doesn't keep crashing, because the last time I did this, it started crashing and crashed all the time. Here it is. OVR Drop, its name. Another little essential for VR. I actually suggest you read it even if you don't play, if you don't stream. Can be used to overlay any sort of useful things on your VR games. Like even a Twitch channel, or maybe my channels if you want to look it while you game yourself. That could make for an interesting experience, I guess. Here we are. Back to the cabin of the truck. So, does it look better? You tell me. If you tell me nothing, I'll assume it does. Let's make this turn, finally. My god. That was close now. Never mind that. Got distracted. I better return into the mindset of the tracker. Okay, finally doing the inversion. I think you were supposed to go back down. Yeah, maybe I'll let pass this nymph guy. Nice logo, by the way. I like the logos that use negative space. Excellent motion. Excellence in motion. Ciao Giovanni, grazie per aver cliccato mi piace. Se mi lasci un commento in italiano ti rispondo anche nella nostra lingua. Going back to the highway. Cash for cars, that's the typical used cars. Salesman, the ones you always associate with a certain American setting. At least here from Italy, they tend to show up in movies often, and we consider it a very American thing. These huge places selling used cars. I also lost, the crop for the Chatwin. Now it's got the top part too, but that doesn't hurt too much. We're not playing a dogfighting game, so even covering a bit more of the road is not going to make a huge difference. I consider it taking the place of the essential Arbre Magique that is normally attached to the rear view mirror.
Prepararsi a voltare a destra.
By the way, didn't they have more rear view mirrors in this truck? No, maybe it was the other one. I had a couple that I loved in front, like placed on the
Voltare
hood
a
itself.
destra.
I love to buy another couple because I love this. And they kinda reminded me of the old Sega arcade game that was about trucking. Absolutely no remembrance of its name. And it was a foolish game. Like crazy taxi with trucks. You always went as fast as possible and crashed into everything. A bit like we probably end up playing this. Now it says I have to take another detour. No, I cannot believe it. Must be an error. I don't want to take another detour like this. Would never make progress. So maybe it's because I'm from Europe, but I actually enjoy
Tenersi a sinistra.
the American version of the game, I must say. That's more to see, in my opinion. The nature is incredible when you get to Washington State. And then you have these long stretch of roads, with absolutely nothing, where you can unleash the full power of your truck. It's probably more fun. When you see 1000 kilometers in Euro Truck Simulator, you think that's going to be boring. But when you see them in the American Truck Simulator,
Tenersi
you
a
already
sinistra.
know it's not going to be boring at all. Or at least it isn't in many occasions. Now finally the open stretch of road is in front of us. Ah, I'm also low on time it seems. Haha, so it was a quick delivery, I shouldn't have rested. Good to know I guess for the next time. Let's see how much time we have left. Delivery is awaited between the 7:32 a.m. I'm never going to make it on time. I guess it will be deducted from my pay. That's also life of the tracker. That's unfair though. That's really unfair. I'll write the union about that.
Tenersi a sinistra.
Also, I believe about this kind of settings where you just drive around. It should be pretty cool to try and play GTA 5 in VR with port packs. I heard there is even a mod, but I haven't tested. If it works like Red Dead Redemption does, if after all it's a similar game, that's bound to be a pretty spectacular game in VR. We're going pretty fast. It's a bit dangerous, I tell you, especially with heavy loads such as this. Steep grades. We don't fear no steep grades. Got enough horsepower for that. Let's check if the stream is going well. Sure seems so. I'm not alt tabbing again. What's the hold up? What's the hold up? They're kinda crazy, these guys. AI in this game doesn't have a very precise idea of road security. You have to be careful. When they start going too slow, they might simply turn in your face and risk running you off the road. It's actually advising me to shift my gear. This is new. I have never encountered. It says because of the steep grade. I'm not going to be fearful. We have to
Tenersi a
deliver the
sinistra.
goods on time. We're already late. I can only accelerate at this point. I'm going 93 kilometers per hour. Runaway track ramp. Ah, that's the runaway track ramp. I also blogged about that thing. You know what these are? These are all around the US. It's a fairly interesting security safety measure. It's meant for when trucks actually have problems braking. They're supposed to try and run towards one of these that are made. Have you seen how it was, on a steep incline? That's for making the truck stop by itself, even when the brakes don't work.
Tenersi a sinistra.
That's something that should be employed worldwide, in my opinion. I believe we've had some serious trucking accident here in Europe that actually could have been avoided with something such as that. These are the famous ranch you have in California. Not ranch, how is it called? It's where you grow plants. I don't remember enough English words for making such a discourse. In any case, I've heard the agricultural side of California is pretty well developed, no? Notwithstanding the problem they often have with their water supply. It's kind of a idiosyncrasy, you would say, of the state.
Andare dritto.
What's this thing? Looks like a golf cart. No, it's actually it's a Hummer carrying a golf cart. How very American. And also now we are enjoying the sight of some old style Cadillac. 144 kilometers per hour. What do you say? Are we going fast enough? I guess our client won't be disappointed too much. This FedEx truck is like an ant.
Andare dritto.
On our truck. We're not going to stop for him. Now another 300 kilometers. An orchard, yeah, I was thinking about the word, an orchard, where you cultivate fruit trees. Also a plantation, yeah, all the words are coming to my mind now. Coming to Fresno now. That must be the reason, I guess. Strange sound, this one. I wonder if everything's well. We are after all pushing the tractor with absolute maximum speed, as I wanted to do when I'm late with a delivery. Also in real life, so good thing I don't drive trucks in real life. It reminds me a bit of some sections of roads I've seen in Italy, where you have this kind of not very greenish vegetation, and yet there's a lot of room for nature. But the palm really gives it out that you're no longer in your backyard, but yet there are some similarities. I believe California is kind of an European state, in a sense, if you know what I mean. It's not as specifically, intrinsically modified in its aspects by the fact that it's on another side of the world. Hasn't been colonized in a short... has been colonized for the longest time.
Andare dritto.
Now I shouldn't perhaps pass this guy on the right, but it's very, very tempting. But here he does what he's supposed to do, and that's the best for him and us too, just in case the police shows up again. The police, I like to say that word in English. Now 200 kilometers to our destination. But since we are having so much time to pass while I'm going towards my destination, I might as well start speaking about something. Let's talk about this morning's article on my blog. I don't know if you've seen it. Probably you haven't, since this is content I produce in English, whereas the blog is actually in Italian, has always been. Might perhaps change in the future, since I stream and all. But it's an interesting topic, maybe not very in topic with what we're doing us, but you never know, there might be a connection. And it's something I had read the other week. I keep reading always the news coming from the world about science, technology and nature to implement as topics of conversation within my blog. And what I had chosen to speak about was an interesting piece of news from England about the fact that maybe you don't know about it, but the River Thames used to be a fairly nature biodiverse setting from a nature standpoint, and had a lot of animals in the past, ever since between the end of the 19th century and the beginning of this one. It started having big pollution problems, so the population of animals really was reduced to the point where it was no longer actually declared as biologically alive. I don't know if biologically works as an English word, but I think you know what I mean. And the point being that because of this there was a complete extinction of its seals population. You know, the seal, it's such a cool animal. And now last September, I think it happened last September, a lot of videos started popping up because the Zoological Society of London started doing its annual survey of the seal population of England, in particular the seal population of the River Thames. I discovered that said animals had returned in great number. Not only that, but had started even reproducing in both the estuary and the following part of the river, up to the city itself. So they counted by utilizing photographic techniques from a small airplane. I even wrote the type and model of the airplane, but now I don't remember it. It's a single engine one, in any case, fairly outdated. and they photographed these seals, and they discovered more than 150, I think, seal pups born only in the last year. So it started making the rounds in news sites around the world. And the River Thames is now once again home to a growing population of two types of seals. It's the grey seals, which are bigger, and the common seal, or Phoca vitulina if I'm not wrong in Latin. A very nice looking kind of seal. Kind of a human-like expression, and these animals are so cool in throughout the course of the River Thames because they take a lot of different colors, all towards red, like crimson almost, because of the particular clay. It's said in English. Yeah, it's called the London clay. It's the composition of the soil of the River Thames that gives them this reddish color. And some of them are spotted, others are they have sort of a gradient color. They're really cool. You should see the videos if you happen to go to my site. I know it's been quite a digression, but I must say I'm discovering this is a very challenging game to stream. I suspected as much, because in the end, what can you speak about? You cannot speak about the game itself. There isn't much to say. You end up having to find other topics. That won't be a problem for
Tenersi
me.
a
I
destra
think you're
e
starting
poi
to
uscire
see
a
it,
destra.
but we're bound to go off topic because of it.
Uscire
In any
a
case,
destra.
I invite you to go and visit my site. I have a lot of interesting articles. Even if you can't read Italian, you can watch the videos.
Voltare a destra.
It's an ongoing project and has been such for many years by now. Okay, now we turn right. And of course, many of the things we experience here together in VR are going to end in the blog itself, like it happened for the Spitfire plane. And maybe some information will in the end come back to the stream itself, and we can speak about it. Or I can speak about it even if you don't feel like commenting, that's okay too. I don't know if it's strange, as I said, I'm kind of a new streamer, but for me it's the same. Just knowing you're there, seeing that number going up, for me it's pleasant enough. Makes for a more fun gaming session, and that's in the end one of the reasons for which I started streaming. The other being, as I already said, making VR more known. I really believe this is the future. Okay, finally we're getting to Oakdale, which apparently is just a truck stop in the middle of nowhere. I guess it sounded more interesting as a place when I was looking at it on the map. This is the delivery point, I think. And now comes the parking part. And it won't be a difficult parking, I believe, just because... No, actually it will be very difficult, especially since this thing is so blasted long. My god, is this going to be difficult? I don't even know where to start. I'll have to go back along the road, I think. What do you say? Is that completely crazy? Completely crazily deranged of me? Because I don't see any other way to put this thing where it needs to be. Now I'll have to use a bit of the external view. Let's hope no one comes, especially let's hope the police doesn't come, because this is a bit crazy. Yeah, something like that. Then I go with the cabin this way, and what I hope happens is that the thing goes 90 degrees, like this. I don't know if I'll be able to straighten it. Maybe yes, maybe I will. But I of course turned too much. And now the guy with the yellow car is really in trouble. Well, wait a minute. No, I have to go a bit further ahead. Like this. Now the guy in the bus, of course, is never going to wait because they're all impatient like that. Yeah, let's break a bit of the fence. We're not paying for that in any case. Now, go 90 degrees again. I still won't be able to make it. Be patient, boost guy, and possibly... Now he's honking at me. This is horribly difficult. Like this. And then another little bump to the fence. You see how it becomes really hectic when you actually have to park the damn truck. I guess I'll have to let him pass now. But of course, It's like he decided to kiss the rear part of the track, so now I can no longer back down. That's terrible. How terrible of him. Let's do like this. I see. Another little bump. I let them pass and then try to do something a bit more logical. This is a game that is deceptively, how do you say, deceptively simple, and it's not simple at all. It can be simple when you know what you're doing, but after a while, the mistakes tend to pile up, and then you're in big trouble. Let's see how we can fix this. Okay. Now I should also look at the road. Seems to be alright. I would say like this. Yes. I have to go a bit like this. Then possibly. Have you ever parked something with a rear side so big? I need to see. The trailer. Hey, yeah, finally. Finally the word comes to my mind. The trailer. Have you ever parked something with a trailer this long? It's really hellish. And now we're starting to lose hope. Okay. Yeah, maybe like this. Starting to look a little bit better. Except for the fact that I'm now ending perhaps stuck on the fence. No. But I cannot straighten the track like this. This damn tree. We put a tree here. My god, this is a mess. Am I completely hopelessly stuck? No. It's not going to work like this. I probably have to go. Wait a minute. Let's think about this. You have to go like this. And then, hey, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. Yeah, I'll go like this. And then be as ruthless as possible in my turn. In this way. Yeah, I'm starting to like it. It's not perfect, mind you. But I'm starting to like it. And also, that's okay because of course I don't need to straighten the cabin. I just needed to put the trailer there. The trailer was name I now remember. And finally it's done. Oh, I need a drink now. I'm also late, but that's not on me. It didn't tell me about it. Let's see what they have on offer. I would like to reach Washington State before declaring this experiment a complete failure and go play something else. But it doesn't seem to be a failure. You guys seem to enjoy this. We're now at 15 spectators. There are no jobs here. Okay. Let's look for a different job. Shall we go with that? No, I'll do a single player job. It's more fun. That way we can go at what speed we want. I want to go to Washington State. Do we have anything? Yeah, this one. That's perfect. It's a lot of meat. From Oakdale to Vancouver itself. That's a fairly nice place. Let's go there.
Tutto è pronto. Possiamo partire.
Also, the load is very close. Finally, I'm leaving this horrible thing behind. Now, you might have noticed when I engage the external view, I try to hold my head very still. That's because this game unfortunately never got a proper VR support for what constitutes external view. So when you engage it, it's actually terrible because it doesn't follow the movements of your head, it rather follows the movements of your joystick. So at first it's very nauseating. Then you learn some tricks to prevent it, but it's still not the best experience. At least it works when you're inside. Unlike another game that I would really enjoy to play in VR, the one with off-road tracking, what was its name? Spin Tires. I believe Spin Tires would be the best VR games ever. But unfortunately, every time you move the view, it actually rotates around the vehicle. So even if you use something like Vortex, it's not going to work. I know because I tried. I would love to play that game in VR. I know, I already accepted the word. I don't know, I haven't. I have to accept it now. A lot of meats. I don't know if you ever played that game, but it's incredible what you have to do, and it has a very interesting graphics engine where you can
Buon viaggio.
actually change the terrain as you go by moving about of the mud. It's very, very cool. What the hell am I doing? That's a specific passage here. I'm risk breaking my truck. I hope you're ready for speaking about seals again, because I don't know what I'm going to speak about this time when we're along the road. I guess I'll improvise. Maybe I'll tell you about yesterday's article. Well, the blog does supply quite a bit of topics we can speak about, or rather, I can speak about.
È
I
ora
don't
di
know
andare.
if it interests you. I sure hope so. And finally, off we go. This is a much longer walk, 1,000 kilometers. But as I said, it's a pleasant 1,000 kilometers on the US roads. Very unlike when you're driving all along Estonia or Russia in the Euro Truck Simulator and you have a lot of difficult stretches. This is much more
Prepararsi
easy
a
going, so
voltare
to
a
say.
sinistra.
Here's the little orchard or PlayStation, should I say. Was name I didn't remember. You see how
Voltare
the
a
English
sinistra.
words come to me as I play. I also didn't know how to say trailer when I started, but now I remember it. Not knowing how to say trailer would have made this stream extremely complex. I think I'll also pick up, yeah, by the way, I'll make fuel in any case. We say fare benzina in Italian, that's like saying fare, make fuel, but you know what I mean. Also, I hope. There's also a little rest area here, but it's day, so we're not going to need. Besides, I'd rather not be late again. Not 2 times in a row. It is a bit narrow. Will I be able to? Oh my god, what am I doing? No, it's going to work. Turn off the engine and resupply. Refuel. Yeah, I'm going to refuel, that's the word I was looking for. The was count to the mine when I stop the truck. When the truck is moving, it's like the power is diverted to the engines, to utilize a science fiction analogy. Now we're touching a bit, yeah. I guess I better accelerate quickly before the owner of the the first stop comes out. Okay, back on track. What did I damage, by the way? The truck itself, or yeah, the truck itself. I'd rather have the trailer damage. Ooh, look at the. They actually animated now. I don't remember. Oops. I don't remember horses to move in this game. Gives it a very Western feeling. So about the Seals land jogging, let's speak about something different than Seals this time. Maybe video games would be a more correct topic. Or even driving games. So, driving
Prepararsi a voltare a
games. We played
destra.
all the major one in VR. Except for one that I have, which is a Factor 2. No, there's also the one that requires a monthly subscription fee. Whose name I absolutely don't remember. What is it? Race World, something like that. I've heard that's very cool. I don't feel it really. I don't feel the need to pay monthly for a driving game when you're mostly driving the same cars on the same tracks without doing anything else than the single payout for the game. They're all kinda similar after all. Yeah, maybe the driving's more realistic, but in any case I've heard good things about that game. I'll probably test it eventually. Maybe on stream. That is, after Boneworks comes out and after Half-Life Alyx comes out. These are going to take some of our gaming time. What is it? Like 3 days away? Boneworks, I mean, the first of the two. Oh, we haven't spoken about previously, but I also play a lot of console games. In particular, right now I play with the Switch. The Switch is a really interesting piece of hardware, I believe, because not just of its versatility, but it has a very welcoming market space for indie developers, and this in turn gives it an excellent library, much more akin to something like Steam than another console, or what consoles used to be. In other regards, it's a bit like the PS Vita was back in the day. That's a console that was a bit misunderstood in my
Tenersi a
opinion.
sinistra e poi voltare a sinistra.
Let's pay attention to the road for a minute there. After this
Voltare a
delivery, I
sinistra.
believe I might switch genre. Maybe we'll go back to race. I don't know. We'll see. But I want to bring the meat to Washington State. My god, that was close. Okay, it's alright. I didn't hit the red car. It's a point of interest
Prepararsi a
in
voltare a
front of
destra.
us.
Voltare a destra.
Oh my god, this is so narrow. Okay, I'd rather try and take it as loose as I can. That's a bit like you're supposed to do on the track. Okay, I'm aim off. Luckily the road is going to be more spacious from here on.
Andare dritto.
Finally starting to accelerate. It even said it right on the back. Caution, wide turns. Someone coming from the left. And here we are back on the long stretch of road. Let's try and find another topic. Yeah, this is indeed an hard game to stream. I might as well move. I might as well move in a logical manner and go straight backwards by running through the articles I've written. I know maybe it won't interest you, but I guess it will be more interesting than listening to a completely silent guy driving a truck. So why don't we speak about the article I've written on Sunday? It was about... yeah, well, that was also an interesting topic. It came from a new discovery in the... I write about a lot of different stuff.
Andare dritto.
Some are related between them, others not at all. In this case it's also scientific, like the seals on the Thames team. So it was an article about an important development in the field of microscopy. That is, I hope it's said like that. The building of microscopes. I wrote in Italian, of course. And there is an important
Tenersi a
personage, a
sinistra.
scientist, a physicist actually. Now the name doesn't come to my mind. That invented a new way to look at cells, at living cells of any manner. So the opening video of the article was taken from the ear of a zebrafish, actually, an amber fish, but nonetheless was an excellent opportunity of showing the workings of such an incredible technology. It's called something like lattice sheet light induced, and I barely remember it in Italian. Go figure if I can remember it in English. In any case, the principle is that rather than shining a strong light towards the cell, which actually kills the living tissue of the cell, you can utilize like a thin sliver of light that moves in an orthogonal manner compared to the position of the lens, actually capturing the image. And that allows you for creating a 3D image of the inner workings of that's such a small unit of living organism. And what is showed, that video, was part of a series of videos that actually have been realized by... I have to go and wait my truck. Yeah, you have to wait it. I don't know about this thing. This is something I've never analyzed. Why do they have you wait the truck in the US? Maybe it's a taxes thing. You get fined pretty badly if you don't do this in any case. Whereas in Europe you have a different problem. You always have to go to toll booths and pay whenever you take a big highway. So now, as I was saying, the video showed the inner workings of the zebrafish here, and you could see the macrophages. The macrophages are actually white cells that deal with the fighting of bacteria that enter your system, or the zebrafish system in that case. And the way they move between cells, it's a fairly incredible thing to behold. Because you always hear about white cells being able to move outside of the bloodstream. They of course need to, because they have to reach the sites of infections, the wounds, whenever our organism need them to be located. But you never shown, and we actually didn't know, how they did it before these scientists discovered the field in microscopy. So the video was incredible. When I saw it, I said, no, I need to understand this process and possibly blog about it. You can see the video on the blog. The blog's address, as you well know, is the fixed banner on the bottom of the video of the stream. Let me pass, guys. And it showed the macrophages, which were conveniently highlighted in blue due to some proteins they gave them before starting the recording. They actually squeezed. They changed their shape to pass through the cell's interstices, the little spaces between cells. In any case, that's what I mean. And it looked like teleporting I don't know how to say, like in Dragon Ball, when you see the warriors teleporting this way and that. That's basically what the macrophages do, and they move between. You have different interpretations in popular culture of that phenomenon. I was thinking mainly of a cartoon that was very popular. I also cited it in my article. I don't know if you had it in your countries, but in Italy it was really, really popular when I was little. I don't know the English title. In Italian it's named This Is How We're Made, Siamo Fatti Così, This Is How We're Made. And it was about the workings of the human body. And it showed something that was very close to what was discovered some years ago through this particular microscope technology. It showed the white globules actually changing the shape when passing through the cell. Whereas a more recent endeavor of the same type, a Japanese cartoon named Cells at Work, was different. It was more anthropomorphic, so to say. So each cell was represented as a person, so they had to invent something different. They were like secret passages they went through. Each cell was a huge room, and it was a bit less scientific in a way, but it looked cool nonetheless. Also, in that cartoon, as it often happens with the Japanese anime, the macrophages themselves looked like fairly attractive girls, also all dressed in an elegant manner, despite the fact that we wielded fairly terrifying weapons for the purpose of fighting bacteria and the like. But it was in any case worth citing also in the article itself. And that's a little rundown of the topic. Now, after writing it, I went to the site of the institution that had this cool video made. It's actually named Howard Hughes, so now I don't remember where it was. Maybe even California, where we are driving now. It's getting also late, I'm noticing. And they had an entire anthology of videos such as this, realized through lattice sheet microscope technology or whatever it's called. And one was each cooler than the other. That's also a worthy thing to look at if you enjoy this sort of things. But that's not very representative of the type of topics I usually deal with. That's very technical, so I had to sort of brush it, you see. I'm not an expert on the matter. But it's worth in any case showing to people, I think. Probably eventually I'll also write something about virtual reality. Still haven't found the right manner of approach, so to say, and try to write for all manner of people, whereas this is a more specific endeavor, maybe for people that understand video games or simulation. Perhaps I could write from the point of view of a streamer, but I'm not an expert streamer by any means, not yet in any case. Who's this guy? What's he carrying? My god, don't invade the road like that. That's dangerous, man. It's a Food Service of America truck. Go figure. Still 800 kilometers. That's quite a lot of articles. We can
Andare dritto.
summarize. And now I want to make the delivery, of course. So I guess it will take the whole stream. It's nothing to worry about. It probably will. Starting to get a little more green, the landscape. That's a big truck stop. Resting my voice for a little. Just a minute or two. While I devise another topic of conversation, or rather should I say, monologue. It's kinda hard to stream this game. I don't know how often I'm going to do it. That is unless you guys really enjoy me speaking about the articles of the blog, but without feedback I have no way of knowing.
Andare dritto.
Now we're going really fast, 120 kilometers per hour. Another thing I often blog about is Japan.
Tenersi a sinistra.
Maybe I've never spoken about it, but perhaps you've noticed by some topics I utilize. I'm actually a student of the Japanese language, and I've been for a long time.
Tenersi a sinistra.
Now, I don't speak Japanese really well, not even now, but I do know the culture and enjoy studying it especially. I started probably due to video games, that's also the reason I learned English originally. And now from time to time I write about Japanese history. Last that comes to my mind, well, it was a fairly interesting article really. Let me remember the names involved. It's about a mention in the western part of the Japanese archipelago. Actually, it was the island of Kyushu. And it was the original manor of an important clan, the one that eventually became the Satsuma. Maybe you know that Japan experienced a very rapid moment of modernization. It's called the Meiji Restoration in 1879, I think, when the emperor gained back its power after more than 1,000 years. You know, Japan has always been governed by its warrior class, but at least in principle the emperor was originally the leader of Japan, both political and cultural, especially from a religious point of view. And the Satsuma were a great part of it, but they weren't the Satsuma at the moment that manor was founded. They had a different name that now isn't coming to my mind, so I rather skim about the question. In any case, the manor is incredible. It's a place that is set by the coast in front of a huge volcano, a huge active volcano, and it has this very traditional garden with several important historical features. It's also an important tourist destination, but that's to be expected. And you can infer many things about the style of life the warrior class enjoyed during the final part of the Bakufu, it's called. It's the traditional government before the actual Meiji Restoration, and how it evolved past of it. There were, for instance, two gates to the manor, and only one was used only by the lords of it. Then when you come inside, you have this huge home that is built by following traditional. Okay, let me look at the road a second. We're still far away. It's built in a traditional manner. That means you can actually remove a part of the walls. They're called shoji, you see, in Japan.
Andare dritto.
And all the walls are movable in traditional manners. And if you remove that one, you actually make the volcano itself a part of the manor. Because it's called stolen landscape, I believe. I don't remember the Japanese term. but it becomes a part of the house. You see it while you take tea, while you dine inside of it. It's really cool. It's a very Japanese way of seeing things. I know we're going again very off topic, and I believe this is making the stream a bit awkward by now. I sure hope it doesn't. Well, it feels a bit awkward because I have no comments. So I guess now I start to see how people manage to stream this game for hours. They get comments because it becomes a back and forth. Like this is extremely extenuating. In any case, it's a worthy experiment. It is a cool game, I believe, to play. I can have fun with this. I just tend to exhaust the topic of conversation. Better be clear about this, just in case. Okay, I don't have to wait. The track again. And so, coming back to the seals of the River Thames. No, I'm joking. But I did enjoy that article in a specific way. I really like animals. I don't know about you. I wish there was well, it may seem a bit counterintuitive, but I'd like an hunting game in VR. Hunting is, after all, one of the most important ways in which humans go into nature, in a sort of a way experience it. It's a common misunderstanding that people that go hunting don't like animals. It's quite the opposite, in my opinion. But without getting into that fairly complex topic, I would in any case really enjoy an hunting game in VR. Like the ones we used to have about deer hunting. Imagine that in VR. Maybe I could try and deploy Vorpex for that also. Never tried it. I believe there is even an official profile for the more popular hunting game, and I no longer remember the name. But I've seen it sometimes on offer in Steam, maybe even during Black Friday recently. That's an interesting to look into. Maybe you guys would enjoy a stream of that. It's completely dark, this place. I wonder why. The light seems to be at the sides of the road, but don't do much light. Must be because the road is so wide. I almost feel the urge of turning on the stronger lights. Now, this is a word I don't yet remember in English. How do you say? We say low lights, high lights. Maybe it's highlight. No, now I turned every light off. That's not wise to do. It's not like we don't have good illumination here. We don't have any illumination at all here. I guess this is to be expected in the US. After all, it's much bigger territory than Europe. No, that wasn't actually the last article I wrote about Japan. I wrote another about the third rite of passage for the current Japanese emperor. So, you know, they recently changed their emperor. It's an important moment of history for the Japanese royalty. And we've actually had a lot of media coverage for the event when there was the coronation taking place some months ago, and no one spoke about the second and third rite, of which probably the third rite is the most important. Now, you might know the Japanese emperor is most of all a religious leader in the current Japanese society in any case. So the third rite of passage for when a new emperor is coronated, actually it's supposed to take place after the death of the previous one, but now this time there has been an application, so also the previous emperor was still alive. But the third rite of passage is the most important, ancient, and probably symbolic one, where he actually communes. It's like the rite of communion, the communion for Catholics. I don't know if it said communion. In any case, when you metaphorically drink the blood of Christ during Mass. Is it said Mass in English? Now, my English is failing me. In any case, that's a rite where the Emperor of Japan actually eats with the goddess Amaterasu. That is, you might know, or maybe not, but the Emperor of Japan is considered to be the last descendant. Hi Chris, thank you for liking my post. I hope you're liking also the things I'm blathering about. This is kind of an experimental thing for me. I don't know if it's interesting for you guys. I hope so. I'm not speaking about the Emperor of Japan. Yeah, so he communes with Amaterasu himself. That is, he descends from the goddess of the sun, you see, but he also never met her before that time, and that's the moment the Emperor of Japan transcends from the human realm to the godly one. It's a very complex rite that takes place during a night. They called it a secret rite, but it's a bit of a misnomer, because it's not secret at all. It's just not frequently spoken about, unless that is when it takes place. And I actually found the thesis of a guy that analyzed it very thoroughly and explained why it costs so much. It's been a topic of conversation in Japan because it costed a lot, like several $billion, equivalent to several $1 billion. They actually had to build a section of the Imperial Palace in Tokyo for the very purpose. They had 2 pavilions, their specific name in Japanese, I absolutely don't remember, built again with traditional architecture. You see, the traditional architecture in Japan all comes from the Ise Shrine. The Ise Shrine is the most important temple dedicated to Amaterasu herself, should I say. And it's located in the central part of Honshu, the biggest island of Japan. And it was built thousands of years ago. And yet it's constantly rebuilt, because Japanese architecture is completely made with wood, as I was saying about the manor earlier. And so are these 2 pavilions, these 2 very special pavilions, completely without names. It's all, it sort of fits into, each piece fits into the other. It's very complex. And there's like only a dozen people capable of building such structure. What do you want? Speaking about ancient Japan, you man, I have to wait the truck again. Hopefully not crashing into the other car. I can see absolutely nothing in this night. That's horrible. You Americans should actually mount more lights by the roads. So they build these 2 pavilions, and the Emperor makes a sort of a... He repeats the rite 2 times. He actually does. He gets into the first one. Let me wait the track, then I'll go on. 32 tons. It weighs the same as it did like 2 minutes ago. You American guys, you don't trust your trackers. Why is it like that? He first enters the Western Pavilion, if I'm not mistaken, where, through a very specific rite carried on by priests of the Japanese religion, that is the Shintoism, the traditional religion of Japan, they carried a specific rice which has been blessed throughout months. It takes months to prepare for this rite. They bring the rice in the pavilion, and the emperor sits in front of the meal and actually communes with Amaterasu herself. Now that's an interesting part, because inside these pavilions, both the first and the second one, there is a structure whose function no one remembers about. It looks like a bed. It's made with shogis. That is, shogis are, how does he say it in English? It's la stuoia. It's the pavement they have in Japanese houses, but also sometimes the bed, because it's an additional layer where you sleep on. And there's several layers of shogi, one above the other. And the emperor doesn't use it, but it's made like a bed. It has even a cushion, you should say a cushion, where you're supposed to lay your head, I mean. And there's a mirror, a brush, all things that are supposed to be used by the guests. And it's supposed by some students, not students, some experts on the matter, we would say studiosi, I don't know, professors, that probably the goddess is supposed to sleep on that bed. But also, there is another theory, which I spoke about in the blog, where it said that perhaps originally the emperor itself slept on that bed. And that's an important fact, because if true, it meant that when sleeping, he actually was supposed to meet the goddess in his sleep. And when communing in his sleep with Amaterasu, he received information in a dream about the things he was supposed to do during his regency, well, not regency, during his reign. And that's another important aspect of Japanese culture many people disregard. It has strong roots that you still can see in their modern productions of culture, even the cartoons. That's an important thing. Watching anime is not a loss of time, almost never is. You can imply a lot of things about Japanese culture from its more modern expression. Even my professors at university didn't seem to understand it, maybe except one or two. My thesis was written on that, mind you. You can easily imagine. It was about Japanese monsters, yokai and the like. Now this guy is holding me. Get off la corsia, the part of the road. How do you say corsia in English? The lane, yeah. The words come to my mind with a bit late, but they do come to my mind. Get off the lane, man. What was that song, this guy? Oh no, they don't care at all. Well, maybe it's scaring. You should get a bit more scared when a huge truck is almost running into you by honking like mad. But that's not simulated. How far are we? Another 244 kilometers. So yeah, duality between man and God, that's an important side to Japanese culture. I guess we ended up speaking about the thing I know most about. Makes sense. You might have thought in the last days that I knew about planes mostly, but it's not like it. It's more of a hobby for me. I've actually
Tenersi a
studied
sinistra.
the Orient, Asian studies, also worked in the field for a time. And now we're speaking about life like all Eurotrack simulators streamers tend to do. Duality of man and gods. You know about mechas, don't you? The Japanese robots. That's also something with strong roots in Shintoism. I hope it's pronounced Shintoism in English. I actually don't know about it. We say Shintoism in Italian, and it's just Shinto in Japanese, of course. The new way, it means. I don't know what the old way was originally. They say Japanese people are born Shintoism. They marry as Catholics and they actually die as Buddhists due to the preeminence of the rites of each religion. But they always remain Shintoism in their heart. It's a very pervasive way of thought. Where everything you do in life matters, even the smallest things, because you're constantly observed by spirits that govern the world itself. And what I was saying about duality and mechas is that this comes from the other recent article I wrote about Japanese culture. It's true. I actually remember the third to last, because the last one is about something I more easily care about. I'm speaking about Gundam, Robot Gundam. Gundam is not a good example of it because it's more realistic. It was written by a man, Yoshiyuki Tomino, that has stronger ties to reality than the average. But Japanese mecha is a bit like Shintoism because you have this huge product of technology. You see, technology is an expression of humanity, yet it is controlled by a man inside the robot. He wasn't inside originally. The first mecha cartoons had the pilot outside of the mecha, but that's a whole another story. In any case, in that context, the human represents the godly, because a human is, in a sense, a product of divinity, and the robot itself is humanity. So the small controls the huge, the robot, and fights often for justice. The concept of justice is important for Shintoism because since you have an afterlife, you don't have an afterlife in Shintoism. Everything you do in life matters because your life is so short, and everything you do during it leaves a trace that is going to outlive you, and that's the only way of immortality you can obtain. That's also because the reason Buddhism became so popular in Japan when it was imported from China in a later time, because Buddhism speaks about the continuation of life. You are actually reborn, whereas the Catholic, or should I say Christian afterlife, works in a different way. It doesn't resonate well with the traditional culture of Japan. Hi Yashin, thank you for liking my post. I appreciate it.
Tenersi a destra.
Okay, we're finally almost at the destination, it seems. I don't know about it. In the end, I kinda joined it. It's nice being about what you care about. Even if you don't know if people actually care for it, still like it. Covenant Transport. Make way, Covenant Transport. It's actually recruiting. Drivers want. Still quite a tiring experience. Streaming something where you have to find your own topics or conversation. But I think I can get better at it. I'll probably do it again, and I'll be better the next time. I'll prepare some topics in advance. While flying planes is different, we can speak about the plane itself, how it works. Plus it really... Yeah, I like that bridge. What a cool bridge. Ah yes, we're in Vancouver now, I guess. No, it's Seattle. I blogged about that also. I blogged about that bridge. It's the one where they
Tenersi a
built a new
sinistra.
one before they demolished the old one. You see how many topics we could speak about while driving the truck. That's also cool. A game where you have to find your own topics. You always see a lot of people streaming this game, but I think they mostly play the multiplayer. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do that in VR. That's a real shame. I wonder if they could make it like a presentation. Something where you have OBS showing images of what you're speaking about while you're driving. Well, maybe it's a bit complex to organize. You would need one of these things, a series of hotkeys that you
Tenersi a
press
sinistra.
and switch the scene. Probably I'll be the first person doing that. Who knows? Keep to the left. Well, I would keep to the left, but the guy doesn't make way. So after the 3 days the ritual takes place, the 3 days it takes, they actually completely dismantle these two pavilions they built by the Imperial Palace, and they are completely destroyed. That's also part of Shintoism. The only way to purify a place is to build it anew. That comes from necessity really, because originally all these buildings being made
Tenersi a
of wood
sinistra.
in such a country where you had a lot of natural disasters, earthquake and the like, meant that they didn't last long. And it came to have a religious meaning. The actual regeneration of places. You destroy and rebuild constantly. Not because of reincarnation, that's a Buddhist thing, just because of the needs of the living. And this was also part of the topic of my thesis. Because all the spirits you see, all the monsters, even the meager yokai that seem to have the function of scaring children and the like, you probably know some of them. If you play video games, you've seen a lot of them in video
Tenersi a
games.
destra e poi uscire a destra.
Even the Humble Kappa, the river goblin that exists for the purpose of stealing. Well, I won't tell about what the Kappa steals because it's
Uscire
so
a destra.
vulgar. But it's meant to scare people, and yet it also resounds to a side of existence that is very much in the moment. It represents human desire in a way. And such is true also for the more noble and important yokai. Like the Tengu, that is practically a divinity. It's on
Tenersi
mountains,
a
controls
destra
the
e
weather.
poi
You know, the
uscire
guy
a
with the
destra.
long red nose. It has a huge meaning for samurai.
Uscire a destra.
Was supposed to be a sword master, actually the trainer of many ancient heroes.
Voltare a sinistra.
Kind of like centaurs in Greek mythology. There is actually a Tengu that has the
Tenersi
role
a sinistra e
of
poi
Chiron,
voltare a sinistra.
the centaur that trained Achilles. But I digress even more. This game makes you digress. Now comes the hard part. Maybe also the fun part. I have to park the beast. Let's see how it goes. We're in Vancouver, it seems. Well, it was quite a trip. We started in Lower California, and look where we are now. All it took was a long talk about Japan that maybe you enjoyed. I don't know anything. You tell me nothing, guys. Once more, a bus is holding us up.
Voltare a sinistra.
I'm almost out of fuel, by the way. I think I'm finally at destination. Wasn't checking fuel.
Tenersi a sinistra.
So we're delivering the meat to Wall Foods, I guess it makes sense. Here's the place. Looks fairly spacious. Let's hope it's not as hard as a parking as the one earlier. It was
Abbiamo finito.
terrible with the narrow road. Ok. Lo parcheggio dove vuoi? Tell me where you want it. Ah, yeah, I know this kind of parking. Well, it's not the easiest, really. You have to back it up on the incline. This looks like the place where I worked in actual real life. I had to park a van in a similar manner once, but it was just a man, didn't have the trailer. So what we do is utilize the space to its full. Let's go to the corner right there. Turn the wheel this way, but not this way, the other way, because of course it's inverted, man. And it will take more than one maneuver. Let's see where it goes if I take it to the max. No, it's not going to work. Straight on this thing, man. I absolutely try not to move my head now, because the view doesn't follow it while you're doing this, and it's terrible for nausea. I guess they'll fix it eventually, but I don't know. Okay, now the wheels go to the left, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. No, they go to the right, okay. I think I noticed the mistake in time. And you have, of course, to straighten the track again, like this. Possibly not bumping into that metal thing on its side. But of course I'm going to bump into it if I straighten the track now. That's not nice. I'll have to go ahead a bit. Okay, now to straighten the trailer I go like this, the other way. But I cannot straighten the trailer because I have no room. Tell you what, no, it's not going to work. Using my joystick to move the camera around. It's the only way I can actually manage to park this thing. That's a very annoying layout, yeah. But I'm past of it. And maybe now, yeah, seem to be aiming correct. I should get into the incline. That's just like that experience I had at work some years ago. Except it was a van that time. Not my own car in any case. I drive a very small car, so that was very scary in real life. Okay, this way. And now we're almost in. Like this, I guess. The guy observing you in that way makes you a little anxious, also because I think I risk decapitating him. That is cutting off his own hand if he doesn't move from there. No, not like this. Come on, man, you're almost in. This is harder than Dogfight Amov, the skies of Stalingrad. And that's a bit scarier. Yeah, it's going in, I think. Is it going in, though? Yeah, well, it's not perfect by any means, but he likes it. So we do as well. And this was an excellent delivery. Another $19,000. Fairly enjoyed it. Okay. And now it's 4 p.m. I don't have time for another delivery, but let's go and upgrade the truck. I guess it will be interesting to see. Let's see where the closest, I don't know the English word once more, place to upgrade the truck. Where the closest place to upgrade the truck is. I'll also buy a trailer, I guess. Oh, look what I can buy. A cowboy paint job. I need to see how it looks.
Mettiamoci al lavoro.
My god, $31,000. It costs twice as this job to put some cowboys on your truck. I guess I'm not doing it. Oh, if they had a Japanese style Decotora livery, that would be a different story. Decotora. Should I start another discourse about it? Nah, we wouldn't have the time. When I hear Japan, I start talking. I'm a simple guy. When I hear
Prepararsi
Japan,
a voltare a
I
destra.
start talking and never stop. I want to also buy
Voltare a
fuel,
destra.
but maybe I won't be able to because this is a one-way road. Indeed it is. What the hell are you doing? Things you find on Facebook. You can't drive in a game. Jonathan Demart. Hi Jonathan. Welcome to my stream. Thank you for commenting. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying about. I think it's meant to be a bit...
Tenersi a destra.
how do I say? Maybe you're not liking the stream. Please clarify. I'd love to try and understand what you mean. You can't drive in a game. That's a bit cryptic. You mean I'm driving badly? Well, it seems to get the job done, though. Wow, it's 77 kilometers to the place where you upgrade.
Tenersi a sinistra.
Things you find in Facebook. Sorry, I'd love to answer you, but I don't understand what you said. If you can clarify, I'd love to. Okay, now making a round. Close to Vancouver. Maybe you want to be a bit of a heckler. I would enjoy also that, but perhaps we can have fun with that. Do tell me. I'm here for you. This is the one bridge that raises. I know this bridge. What the hell are you doing?
Tenersi a sinistra.
Any of you guys understand what it means? What the hell are you doing? Things you find on Facebook. Maybe he's gone to some other stream. That's too bad.
Tenersi a destra e poi uscire a destra. Uscire a destra.
To Vancouver Way, no less.
Voltare a destra.
Which of the two? Which of the two, madam? I'm not sure about it. I'll go to the right. She said to the right, so I'll go to the right. You can't drive in a game. Why can't I drive in a game? I'm driving in a game. What am I doing? I guess it will remain a mystery for the ages. Just like the passage
Tenersi a
ritual of the
destra e
Japanese
poi
emperor.
voltare a destra.
I can also refuel the truck at the upgrade place. That's good. Let's see if the
Voltare
word
a
comes to
destra.
my mind. The word about the place where you upgrade trucks. How is it said? I would call it officina in Italian, but I can't seem to remember the English term.
Prepararsi a voltare a destra. Voltare a destra.
Things you find on Facebook. Yeah, you find a lot of things on Facebook. What did I find today on Facebook? What did each of us really find on Facebook? Today, I'll put the fuel first, then upgrade the truck. I don't know why. Seems more appropriate. In a way. I'm also going the wrong way, but that's my prerogative, I guess, since I'm a trucker. Maybe he's responding to the video description. No, it's not that. Jonathan Demort, speak to me. Tell me about all your secrets.
Ok, cerchiamo un nuovo percorso. Voltare a destra.
W2H means what the hell, right? I think that's a fairly international acronym, so it's a bit of an invective, I guess. But the rest remains completely not understandable by me. Let's repair the truck. First of all, I was saying let's repair the tank, but it's not a tank, of course. Wrong game. And it cost us quite a bit. $4,000. But I want to see what I can mount on it that's new. Like a better engine, maybe? No, 625 horsepower is the best one. Long 6x2, mid-lift 300 gallon. Well, that's the frame itself of the truck. It's not worth changing. I think I have the more efficient one at this time. You can get shorter gears, no, rather longer gears that are less in number, and I'm not going to change it. And then we have this crazy paint job, but it's absolutely not worth it. $31,000, are you mad? This is also cute. Cowboy Life or Independent. I think I know this painting. Yeah, it's the famous painting. No, we don't have Cowboy Life. Haha, it's a snake. No, okay, no, I'm doing nothing here. In any case, we only have 15 minutes. What can we do in 15 minutes? Oh, the delivery is completely out of question. Let's just go and race a car for 15 minutes. I pick a racing game at random. This one auto-saves by itself, but I guess I'll also make a manual save just to be sure. Well, in 16 minutes we can do a race. I'll go with Project Cars again, it was fun. Things you find on Facebook. I cannot get over this. Why do you say something like that and don't clarify? Here's the driving games. Project Cars. Another 15 minutes, guys. I hope you sorta enjoyed my ramblings. I kinda did. But it's very easy to enjoy oneself. More hard it is, I believe, to create fun for others. That's kind of a streamer's creed, isn't it? You might have seen this game past Sunday, that is yesterday. It's been a fairly interesting session. I actually had a guest driver, an Italian gamer that came and explained a bit of the game by its own initiative, and it was quite a formative experience. Where was I? Maybe here? No, this is another championship where it will work. Let's do the American stretch of it. Since we've been American trackers, we might as well be American race drivers too. And I pick, I guess, these are vintage cars, okay. Let's go with the 935. From Porsche, yeah. Not very American. But I guess a non-American car can still race on American tracks. And I'll do, well, since I have exactly 30 minutes, let's do a race of 6 laps, I guess, without qualifications. This will wake us up after all the long stretch of road, but I have to lower a bit. Difficulty is already really difficult again. Like this. Let's see how it goes. 30 minutes. Let's make them count, as I say every time at the final stretch of the stream. We have the rain. That's for the best, I guess. More engaging yet. Hey, the view is not centered though. What did you set? Like this, okay. slam into the guy in front and wait for my chance. Nah. Judges on this game are so intransigent. You cannot even put half of a wheel out of the road, and that's what happens. Can't drive in a game. Well, I'm driving in a game. You don't tell me what I can and cannot do. I will do whatever I want. I'm horrible like that. Here's the other Porsche from my team. What do you say? I did improve a little thanks to the coaching from yesterday. I knew it was good. Ardner, Denver. How many laps again? 6 laps. That's going to be a tough call in just 10 minutes. Second lap, okay, that's good. Then we're making progress, I guess. Come on, get back to the road. Look at the spectacle of this game. The weather is really well rendered. I love these graphics. Ah, yes. On this track we have the big splashes of water that tend to be like this. As soon as you touch them, you have big problems. Completely ruin your time. I see what the friend from yesterday was saying. It's actually more engaging to pilot without the huge ad taking a big part of the view. Although I must say, it's also nice knowing where you are in the race. So you can look there and know you're 11th. I will keep it like this, a reduced but still present HUD. And look how much pools. It's raining actually more in game than in real life here in Italy. And that's not easy these days. I think I'm driving better than yesterday, yeah. It's not bad at all, if I say so myself.
That's 8th place. Good job. You're gaining on 7.
Ah, good, I'm 8 now. I want to finish this race no matter what. Maybe I'll come in the first 5 or 6. They're all there, mind you. I still have 3 laps to try and catch up. You see what happens. This car only has 4 gears, so what happens with a sequential gear shift like this is you go down again and you end up in neutral or even rear gear. That's of course very very bad for the car and the race. Third lap now. Still had some hope.
Fastest second sector. Great driving, mate.
This is very dangerous. Okay. We aren't online, huh? We aren't online, so I didn't do this to a real player. Come on, get in here. The water really threw me off. Couldn't see the rear end of the car getting close so fast. Fourth lap begins. Ah yes, I'm in neutral again, you see. Good thing I noticed before accelerating. That'd be quite risky otherwise. I need to count gear because with the pedals like this you press down gear. In a second you're in neutral. You don't even notice. And that's very bad. Neutral, have you seen it? But I did notice.
Good job. You're fastest in sector 1.
Yeah, I'm fast, but the mistake I did earlier is going to completely ruin the race. But we did start last because we didn't have time for a qualification. But still, I would have enjoyed to end up in a better position. We still have time, we'll see. It's another 2 laps and a half. No, now they're passing me. Has it stopped raining? Yeah, it seems so. It has indeed. This game has changing conditions. Stop this thing. No, I broke too much. It's not a difficult, it's not an easy track. Also, the big, these sort of lakes you have on the tarmac kinda threw you off. Really make you go sideways. Penultimate lap. I guess we're more space now, it will be difficult to pass them. But you never know until the very last minute. Ah yeah, the neutral gear. I spoke about it so much I still end up in neutral gear. That's going too hard. Now third, I have to check it often what gear I mean. Of course in the real car it wouldn't happen because you'd have the stick.
Okay, we've got some pressure from behind.
Yeah, some pressure is to say the least, like half the work compartment of cars are behind me. I guess I'm being a bit of a Captain Slow here and slowing everyone else, but as long as they don't pass me it's okay to me. It's very on the edge, okay. Oh no, it's going to work. It's a car that has a nice grip on the road, even with wet track like this. No, yeah, this is the curve I really cannot do. It seemed so much tight. But I'll turn on the wiper again. No, this is the light, this is the wiper. Now that I'm eating their water, I should say dust, but it's actually water today. Watch out for the neutral gear, man. No, how could he accelerate like that? He didn't make a mistake.
Nice one, a new PB.
Okay, I'm getting him again.
Last
Final
time
lap,
round. Keep it clean now and on the black stuff.
as the voice in the radio kindly tells us. This is the final lap. Let's see if I can avoid the usual mistake out of the curve. And I'll try to at least catch up with this guy.
That's the best Section 1 time of anyone so far. Great job, keep it up.
Well, at least I'll finish in the first time, right? Considering I didn't have time for qualify, could have been worse. No, and now of course I make the big mistake at one of the last cubes. This completely ruins the endeavor. How could I not brake like that? I've done the track over 6 times already. I cannot see my rear view mirror on the right because of the chat window. This really worsens, completely ruins the performance. Still, we're going to finish the race because that's bound to count for something, right? Also, after 2 hours, you tend to lose a bit of concentration. Okay, and this concludes, I guess, the race. And also the stream. So, what did you say? Did you enjoy it? I only know about one people that didn't seem to enjoy it. But I hope the rest of you did. Even if you didn't comment, as I said, at this phase of streaming for me, I'm fairly new, everything is well accepted. Just your presence is enough. Now I'm noticing I also became completely invisible. If I knew about it, I would have turned on the lamp. Unfortunately, I didn't. You can barely faintly see the lights of the headset. This is another reason I would need someone to comment on my stream. I wouldn't know about it if you don't tell me. In any case, it was fun for me. I hope it was for you as well. If it was, follow my stream and like my page. I'll be back tomorrow morning, I believe, unless anything else comes up. In the meantime, bye, and ciao from Italy, as always. See you soon.